I'm torn because I'm tempted to bring back a message I shared like a year and a half, 2 years ago. I don't think I'm going to do it. I'm just going to remind us about something, because I think we're probably supposed to talk about that today. But I feel very stirred. When I was a kid, God gave me a word that I didn't fully understand. And one of the first things that he spoke to me was that he wanted me to dig wells of worship. And at first I was like, oh, that sounds awesome. I get to go dig wells of worship. Anybody else ever get like a call or it's like a thing from the Lord he wants you to do and you're like, this sounds great. Digging wells is a very dirty, lonely, monotonous, tiresome, exhausting, sweaty, I can go on. It's a long, drawn-out process that often feels isolating. And that set my life on a trajectory of spending a lot of time alone, digging wells of worship. Jess and I traveling to all these little churches and just like digging wells of worship. And it was awesome, but it was dirty and it was lonely and it was non-glamorsome. And so when we started worship nights in the back room of Campfire, I felt like God reminded me, I've put you in the center of town to dig a well of my presence in Jamestown. And so we did that. Friends came and gathered and added to the group, grabbed shovels with us, and we have dug and dug and dug. And so when we moved to the building, just being reminded again, we're here to dig a well of worship. Here's the thing. When someone in olden times would dig a well, they dug it for themselves, but then they would place stones, like in old Chinese wells and also like ancient wells in the Middle East and stuff. They would lay stones and build a path for other people to go and drink from the well. And I believe that over the last almost 5 years, one of the mandates and calls on this ministry, see, it's no longer Jess and I. Now it's us. It's our family. One of the mandates for us as a family is to dig and cultivate a well for us to drink from, for our town and our community to drink from, for our children and our children's children to drink from. We are here to stand week after week after week and say, God, we're here, you are welcome here, and we're going deep with you. And so I feel like Friday night, I had felt over the last, I don't know, maybe a couple months, we'll say, month or two, just this kind of like numbness. Like something was just like, I don't know, I didn't like it though. And Friday night, we broke out into that, you make wells in the desert. You bring waves in the desert. You bring rivers out of dry places, and you're doing it now. And I could feel something break. I felt like Friday night was just a warfare night. And I think I said in the middle of it, like, guys, we're not doing cute worship tonight. Like, we're here to war and push through something. And I felt it shift Friday night. For those of you guys who were here, I think most everyone probably felt that. And then this morning when we started to sing it again, I was like, yes. Digging a well. Digging a well. Just to share this one time, only a couple of you guys know this story, but the very first time we came here, it was the first week we spent in Jamestown, and we had just moved. No, it was just before we moved. We came to look at the house, and we decided to go to a church, and we popped in a random church that we had just heard of, and we walk in, and they find out that we're worship leaders, and just in passing conversation, I don't even know how. And in the middle of the message, the pastor starts singing, stir up a well. And he keeps going on, stir up a well, spring up a well, whatever. It was good. And he keeps saying it over and over again. And then he has a mic run to Jess. He's like, give it to her. She needs to sing it. And so Jess, we're brand new. We don't know anybody. We're just kind of like slipping in to see if we could find a church we would fit in our town. And we found a church that day. And so they run a mic to Jess, and so she starts singing, stir up a well. And so he's like, sing it, sister, sing it. Stir up a well. You know, Jess is like much more beautiful than I, clearly. But she starts singing, and then he goes, bring him a mic too. And they ran me a mic, and they're like, stand and sing. And so now here we are, a cappella, singing in front of like all these random people we don't know. Stir up a well. Oh, and then they would have an organ. You guys will probably narrow down which church this was, but that's okay. For the ones of you who've been here a long time. But honestly, I believe it was a prophetic thing for what God brought us here to do. And now I think it's a prophetic thing for what you are a part of, what our family is called to do. We're here to make a place. Yes, there's a physical place in downtown, but week after week we come here and we worship Jesus in the center of our town. And I believe out of the overflow of that, people's lives will be changed and set free. They will be freed. They will be delivered. They will be healed. Addiction will be broken. People will come to know Jesus personally. That's why we're here in this place in downtown. Now, you guys want me to preach about that? Let me talk about that. Okay, actually, can we stand for just a moment? Let's just reset here.
You bring rivers out of dry